this is my lovely hat here. I chose a black one because I am usually always seen wearing black. Keep that in mind as we go into my self-concept about myself and what others think about me. That might be helpful. So keeping that in mind, each item I have on here represents a part of myself in some way or another, which can be very nerve-wracking. I am a very quiet to myself person, so this may be a little more nerve-wracking as it is for everybody to talk about themselves, let alone in front of a speech environment, I guess. With that, these things, I have a few things on here. I'm not super creative, so it's not the most beautiful, but I chose a black bucket hat, and we'll just get right into it. So for my first items, they're two different items, but I kind of put them together. So I have right here a little Spider-Man guy. He's drawn in from California Adventure. You can spin him around. And this one is a character from an anime, and this kind of represents a lot of what other people call my geeky tendencies. I call it that as well. I'm into Spider-Man, comic books, and anime. I'm a huge fan of anime, so these are incorporated in everything I do, honestly. I get very hyperfixated on things, so I like to talk about these things a lot, and people say that it comes off geeky. They say nerdy, but geeky is the correct term, honestly. With that, people also know me as they call me Crazy Cat Lady, lovingly. I used to have 4 cats, but now I have 2. So on my hat, I have this little pin that says, "I do what I want," and it's a cat knocking over a cup. I've had it forever, and I just think it's so funny. I do actually, it's a black cat, and it's funny because I actually have a black cat, and she also does whatever she wants and knocks over cups. So I think that people just really know me as like the person who loves cats, so they make a lot of jokes about how that every time I see a cat I gotta stop and I have to have that cat, which is true. They're not wrong. So everyone also has one way or another called me. I have some little Scrabble letters here. Spells out quirky. It's what everyone calls me. People at work, my family members. I have a beautiful significant other who also calls me quirky all of the time. My family uses the word weird, but I would assume quirky is a more all-around term, so we just went with that one. I enjoy board games, so I thought it was interesting to put the word on here, but in little Scrabble letters. And not only that, I have the I is upside down, 1. I just thought it was kind of funny to put like in the middle letter there, kind of like different, I guess. Then we will move on. My other one, a really big factor about me is that like I try to come off very nice. Empathetic is a good word as I use for myself, but other people use emotional, sentimental, anything like that. So I put a bunch of little hearts on the top of my hat. I cut them out, and then I even put one that says I love you. The little hearts are in green because green is my favorite color, so I thought it was like a cute 2-in-1 kind of situation there. I like to make people feel comfortable when they're around me, even if I am very shy. So I try to become respectful or anything, and when doing this project, I approached some of my coworkers and asked them, and of course my one coworker, she was like, "Of course, you're so sweet, like you get along with everybody, it's very easy to get along with." That's one of the things that's hard for me to see, but it is, hopefully, I always hope, I want to say it's true, it is true. So I did little hearts because, the heart is the emotion. what we want to go on to here is my family, because you know they're part of my heart. My family is very big for me. I have 2 little brothers. I'm the oldest, so I've always really loved to nurture. And I have a 2-year-old daughter with my significant other. So I put a picture of all of us, of course, being goofy with little dog ears and noses on here, because it's important to me that family, I'm surrounded by family and that love, and I give that love to them. They're my number one. For me personally, it's not just family, it's found family. I love that. You can just be super close with somebody and that is your family. A lot of times for me growing up, it's not blood that matters, it's the people that are there. So for me, family is a more broad term. So with this, I knew when I met my significant other that they were going to be my family in one way or another. It didn't matter. So, and then we ended up having a family. My little girl there. One of my favorite holidays that I love to do, especially because I have my 2-year-old, is Halloween. So I have a little, I see it here, it says Halloween. It's a little ribbon. I love ribbons. And then I have little bats all around it. Halloween's my favorite season. It's nice and snuggly. If we hope here in California it gets a little snuggly. I am from Pennsylvania, so it is nice weather there, nice and fresh, very cold when you go trick-or-treating as a kid there. So you really have to layer up your costumes, unlike here where you have to hope you're not going to be too warm in your costume. But self-concept, I have a lot of things that I don't talk about, I guess, really, that people at work kind of know about. I'm not shy about it, but I don't speak about it. So I chose this rainbow here because I am part of the LGBTQ. I'm non-binary, and that is something that I feel very strongly about. We just passed Pride Month, so it's something that I enjoy talking about and everything if somebody does mention it. Another part of my little love hearts there. But self-concept is a tricky thing to talk about, especially for myself. In a communication class, I didn't think it was going to be something that we would talk about. I've always been in psychology classes, but the phrase self-concept itself has never come up. So I think it's important that we remember it, especially when communicating, and I'm glad that this has given me the opportunity to kind of like discuss some things that I enjoy